Hi, my name is Callum and I'm a full-time self-employed guitar player and I've never had a full-time job. In this video, I'm going to talk about teaching guitar, how I came about starting it and growing my business up. So I was very lucky in the start, or you could say lucky, or I just worked very hard at a young age and the opportunity came at the right time. So I got my grade 8 in guitar. I was having lessons at a guitar shop in East Molesey and I was 15 years old and I got my grade 8 certificate, and it came round when it was just the time I had turned 16 and they needed a new guitar teacher. At this moment in time, I had my grade 8 certificate and I was practicing lots and I was getting, I like to think, quite good for my age, and I was showing a lot of potential and good work ethic. So the boss of the business, who was also my guitar teacher, decided to give me a chance and start me up with some beginner students that were kids wanting to have lessons at the place. As a start, I had a lot of imposter syndrome as I didn't think I was up for it or I was good enough to teach guitar. But I was also very excited because this was something I really wanted to do. And I was being paid £20 an hour. So for a 16-year-old, I was very happy with that. So I was doing lessons just a couple evenings a week on like a Monday and Tuesday after school. And this was really good. I was getting lots of money for my age. And so I was really happy being able to enjoy it. And I was building a lot of experience. And I was kind of, when doing teaching, I was thinking of how I was being taught and what worked for me and trying to use some of those methods. And a lot of it was trying to base stuff in songs I liked. And so trying to base it in songs they liked as well. Obviously at the start you're not going to be perfect. I think it's a lot of like trial and error. I did like things that worked, sometimes things they weren't getting, so you kind of have to adjust things a little. So a few months in, I was getting a lot of imposter syndrome still, and this was getting me really down and thinking, should I really be working here? However, I was talking to one of the other tutors and he was giving me a lot of reassurance and just giving me the stuff I really needed to hear, especially as I was new and I'm not going to be perfect at the start, but also trying to understand and acknowledge that I'm probably doing something good. So we kept on doing this up until I was 18 and ready to go to university. I was doing it all through college and this was great, and it allowed me to then be able to like go out and enjoy stuff a bit more. In this time I was also taking a few private lessons at people's houses, so this was good at building my experience in that field as well, and not just within a business and in their walls. When I went to uni, obviously I had to give up all those students, which was a massive shame, but I learned so much experience and it's given me the confidence to go out and teach people privately without having a business to do that for me. So after my first year of uni and coming back for the summer, I needed to get a job and make some money because I was going on holiday to Spain and I needed to fund that. Can't be going out to the club with no money. So at first I got this job in a warehouse. It was Hermes, doing night shifts. I survived 2 days and decided to quit as I was like, this is not for me. It was pretty sure illegal shifts, doing 14 hours or something in these trucks with no protection. I think I clipped my thumb and there's nothing to protect your breathing. There's all this dust at you. And like I think I had like a 40-minute break in 14 hours. Obviously it was like 6 p.m. till 8 a.m. the next day or whatever it worked out to be. It was just ridiculous and I quit after 2 days. But then I thought, I have a skill which is teaching guitar, which I've done already and I could show that I can do. But I was like, how am I going to do this? So I went to the shop and I bought a bunch of cards, some colouring pens, and I literally made some ads from hand, just drawing a little guitar, my details, price of £40 for an hour, and just, yeah, phone number, and then putting them around in newsagents around the area. I was literally on my bike cycling to all these newsagents, paying like £1 to £2 to put them in. I remember putting loads out and I did actually get called back, I think by 1 or 2 people, and that was great because one lesson that was 40 quid, and at my age that went quite a long way. It's not like I had a lot of things to pay for at all, really. I've literally just student. So I was having to use public transport quite a lot and this was quite time consuming. However, it was just way better than having an actual job and working for someone else. It was just way more enjoyable and I mentally just felt better and I was doing something I actually wanted to do. So I did this for a good few months and then went back to uni. Some of those people I was then teaching on Zoom a little bit, So I was keeping that a little bit consistent, and that was supplementing me whilst I was away. And then I got into a teaching agency online whilst I was studying in my final year. And this was great as it was starting to get the ball rolling for when I was about to leave. This built my experience in teaching online on Zoom, not just in person, having methods on creating resources, getting more efficient at doing that, and be able to teach someone and give them the same value as someone in person. When I came home, I got a website set up, and I was still having those students from that agency, but I was getting my own private students and building it up using the help of my best mate's dad. Helped do my website with website SEO, teaching me how to use Google Ads, and that's really helped me now, because now that's something I'm able to apply and create on new websites I'm trying to build. But these started to gradually build up, all the students coming in, and this was really helping me in a time so I didn't have to get a part-time job. I was able to slowly build my way up and pursue certain opportunities, other gigs that were coming to me. I was able to fund, be able to travel and all that. I also then, from other experiences, and because I was driving at this time, actually I wanted to add on, I got my license at 21, and this was a big game changer because it meant that I wouldn't need public transport, and I was way more employable because I had a car and I was more self-sufficient. So when I was home, I was able to drive to all these students' houses, no public transport. So I was saving so much time, and I was able to get in with a new agency, which allowed me to then go to schools and teach in person and also in some houses. The online agency that I was on before, I actually left in the end, and I just didn't really think what I was doing and how much was being paid was great for me, and I wanted more. I valued my time a lot more, so I decided to leave that, and I was going to have my private and then also do the schools that I was doing as well. And so I started building that up, and as I was doing it, I was getting way more experience, way more efficient. I'd have way more lessons that backlogged, because you make one lesson for one person, you can recycle that lesson many times again. So from doing this and having more students of all different ages and abilities, I was able to recycle and have all these lessons prepped. So I was actually saving a lot more time as time was going on prepping. As it comes to now, I've built all my lessons, so I could maybe take on one more if I wanted to, but I kind of don't really want to take on anyone else. And now I've built an online teaching agency to leverage that, because it's almost got to the point where I'm having to turn stuff away, and it's a real shame. But I'd kind of want to be able to give someone else that opportunity and give them that work, as I've got the skills and tools to be able to bring that work in, and so I want to try and put that out to someone else. So what teaching guitar has done for me is acted as the bread and butter, and works out as now 50%, I'd say, of all my income. And it's allowed me to have flexibility and control over my schedule and my time. I don't need to answer if I want to go on holiday. It's taken all that away, so I have complete control. Obviously, if I take time off, you don't get paid, but you don't have to ask or have a certain amount of days that you're allowed to go away. As if I was to have a part-time job, as some people do, which can be common, is people might have a part-time job and doing their music on the side, which for some people works really well, but for me, I want full control and ownership on what I'm doing. Also, this has helped creating a really nice stable income throughout the year, so regardless what happens to gigs or recording sessions, it really doesn't matter too much. I know I have something to fall back on every single time. So this is just a little journey that I've kind of told you about how I've gone from teaching from nothing and showing that you don't actually need that much investment. It does obviously help, as you've probably gathered from the start, where I actually had people I knew that helped me to get in. But also at the same time, I went out my own way and literally made little ads on tiny cards from colouring pens, and that managed to bring in work. And someone was willing to pay me 40 an hour with not even seeing my face or anything, or having a website. So it shows that you can literally do it with minimal investment. So if you're thinking of teaching guitar, or you're debating, or you're having some imposter syndrome like I did, you just need to give it a go and kind of go in for it fully, as I think that feeling always is going to be present at the start, and it's just going to go away gradually, and you're going to get better and better at it. And no one's going to be perfect at the start. Everyone has to start from like a novice level in terms of as a teacher, and your experience and confidence will grow. So I hope you found something useful in that video and took something away from it. And if you can like and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps, and I'll see you in the next video.